All right, let's get straight into this one. This one's called In Praise of Layered Exposition, recommended by chat over here live on twitch.tv/OmarioRpg. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. The rule is simple. Whoever recommends the video, if it isn't good, they get banned from chat and sent to the shadow realm. Apparently, I can't even say that sentence. Anyway, let's get straight into it. The video is from Pay Talks Anime. Go check them out. Let's do it.
With a dramatic scene. What if you want to start a story with a dramatic scene, where a brother is carrying his sister who's on the verge of death through the...
Would I rather have Rock Lee's hair or Zenitsu's voice? Mods. Do something, mods. What are these questions? Who would choose Zenitsu's voice?
If you want to start a story with a dramatic scene, where a brother is carrying his sister who's on the verge of death through the snow, desperately trying to save her, you could have the characters say stuff like this. Or this. And while that does give the audience a lot of the information they need to know, I prefer exposition that looks like this.
Oh my god, the word! I was doing a Breaking Bad reaction and the word that I couldn't remember was exposition. That was it. Oh my god, it's been months and that just finally, it finally hit my brain. Oh my god, my brain has needed that. Thank you, video. Maybe I should have read my comments on that video as well.
I prefer exposition that looks like this. The subtle kind. That's snuck between all these different layers. Like the relationship between two characters. Or stakes. There's this video that just came out the other day from Thomas Flight titled In Praise of Great Exposition. It's an outstanding video that I'm choosing to closely emulate in this one. It touches on so many different nuanced aspects of great exposition. So in thinking through this week's video, I found myself returning to episode 7 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End and watching the new episode of...
Bro, is this guy about to... Mods. Ban Abdul already. I know what this guy's going to do.
Which was the season finale of the Hashira training arc. And I was shocked at the difference in the way they approached exposition. Welcome to this week's episode of a running series called Exploring Frieren. My name is Pei, and today we're talking about how sometimes...
This is so unfair. How can you compare Frieren to Demon Slayer? She hasn't got a chance, the poor girl. Man, what are you doing? Do we even watch this video, guys? I feel like there's not even any point. It's just... Guys, still, after this video, if you still find Frieren as an enjoyable anime, that's fine. You're still intelligent and we appreciate you all. But obviously it's going against Demon Slayer. It's just it's just unfair. It's just this is just unfair. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we shouldn't compare apples to watermelons. Do you know what I mean? You still need apples. Just because it's not a watermelon, you still need apples.
Good exposition is hidden in the crowd. So this Thomas Flight video is great. And while it's absolutely inspiration for this video, and I'm definitely yoinking a lot of different aspects of his structure, my goal is primarily to build off of the argument he's already made, using my own examples, specifically talking about Demon Slayer and Frieren. This video is a weird result of my own actions matching up with all these different unique things that were released at the same time. The first of those three things is obviously Thomas Flight's video. The second is a video I released about a half week before then talking about backstory and flashbacks. And finally, the third is that today Demon Slayer's new season just released its finale. We're eventually going to get to the point where I explain how all three of those things are directly related. But first, let's understand each of them individually. So skipping the Thomas Flight video for now, last week I released a video talking about backstory and the 4 different ways in which you can talk about backstory.
I might watch that. I'm not gonna lie. I am joking around, Dan. I am. Frieren's a... although I agree that Demon Slayer is a really well-written show, Frieren is like a 1 in 10,000 anime. It really is. Which is why when we see so many videos like this, Frieren is most of the time the example. Being the the peak of the highest example
story in any piece of fiction. Exposition, information, inference,
but
and
that's not to hate on Demon Slayer. It's an amazing
built around
anime,
that fourth idea,
way too
flashbacks.
overhated, in my
So I was surprised when just a couple days later, Thomas Flight released a great video on exposition. A quick correction from Future Pay editing the video, Thomas Flight's video actually came out a day before mine. Just thought I'd specify. I've been rewatching Frieren for this series, going episode by episode and trying to come up with unique ideas to talk about. Now in the 7th episode of Frieren, there's this remarkable scene that's only a couple minutes long. The purpose of the scene is definitely to provide exposition, but that's not the only thing it did. It explored a cool little moment that touches on a central theme of the story. It called back to previous relationship dynamics while highlighting new ones. And it gave us crucial information, directly related to our main character, which makes it easier for the scene to be compelling and engaging, because it's providing other interesting things to engage in besides just the exposition. Whereas in juxtaposition, I just finished the new season of Demon Slayer, and while I find myself consistently coming back to the show and my intention is not to ruthlessly criticize it, I do believe that Demon Slayer is a show that's predominantly carried by its beauty and hype. In other words, everything
He just doesn't understand the beauty of the, not the beauty, he just doesn't understand animation, he just doesn't get the kindness and realism of a brother's love for his sister. That was good.
Thing goes to the wayside in pursuit of those two things.
He doesn't get it. He's
and
clearly
the writing
not got any
is often
siblings.
Very weak. But also, despite how
What
many
did he
times
say?
those two things, it's beauty and hype. In other words, everything goes to the wayside in pursuit of those two things, and the writing is often very weak.
Who recommended this video? I have watched so many animes that have much weaker writing than Demon Slayer. Why is this like the most attacked anime of all time? Yeah, every person's seen it. And they haven't just seen it, they've finished it. I'm sorry. But no anime out there, no matter how good the animation is, will make you finish all of it. I see you. You love this anime. But you follow the crowd that says, oh, the writing's not good, or Tanjiro's not a good character. Brother, look at the writing in Full Metal Alchemist. I struggled to finish that shit.
But also, despite how many times I've almost quit watching it, I consistently find myself coming back because it's fun. But I don't think Demon Slayer's writing is its strong suit. And where that's most obvious is in this entire last arc and this last episode. Without spoiling anything specific, throughout this entire season, and especially in the finale, there's a huge amount of exposition that doesn't really serve any other purpose besides providing information that the audience has yet to find out.
Okay. This is... Notice how he's got to bring up the worst season of Demon Slayer. It's impossible for an animation to carry a show, in my opinion. If you are watching a show and the animation is the only thing carrying it, there's no way you finish that show. There's no way. There's no way, bro. There's no way. So let's get rid of the animation carries nonsense. It's impossible. You just wouldn't finish a show if it just had good animation. Come on, guys. Let's be serious. And I am being serious. Right now, no troll. That's a fact. If he's going to hate on the best part of Season 4, which was what's his name's flashback, the Stone Hashira's flashback, I'm unliking this video.
Like 3/4 of the entire finale, which is 40 minutes by the way, is spent just giving the audience tons of information through dialogue. So all three of these things actually made me realize that I really wanted to talk about exposition this week. Let's go back to that Thomas Flight video. There are a couple really important points he made that I'll be going over that I think all point towards this idea that layered exposition can be an incredibly effective way of giving the audience all sorts of information they need without it feeling heavy-handed or forced. For example, when he's praising the exposition in Blade Runner, he points towards suspense, dramatic stakes, mysterious setting, and implied information as all components that made for more compelling storytelling. Because that scene in Blade Runner is multifaceted, while feeling natural. Which is the second point I'm going to talk about with Thomas Flight's video. Exposition can so often feel heavy-handed and forced, so if you can find more natural ways that feel realistic to the audience to show important information, it'll make for a better scene. And finally, the last
I get the exposition take. Sometimes, though, when you're so late into an anime or you've seen a character around for so long, man, does it feel good to just get the exposition. And this isn't related to Demon Slayer, or I can't even think of an anime off the top of my head where you've had a character around for so long and you finally get the knowledge about them. Even if it's not told well, it still feels satisfying.
Of Thomas Flight's points that I want to talk about is how sometimes showing and telling can be misunderstood. Specifically, that telling can be a form of showing if you apply inference. His examples from Breaking Bad, where the main character...
Oh, are we good? Am I good? Okay.
Your son complains to his father that the hot water heater is still not working, and he's asked multiple times to replace it, implying that there's financial struggles going on within the family. And while on one hand it felt like a natural conversation that the characters would be having, it also implies things about the relationship between the two characters and each of their personalities. Once again, multifaceted. Which is ultimately what I'm arguing, that exposition in most situations comes best layered, placed in scenes where there's many different purposes being served. That was the problem with Demon Slayer's exposition, is they kept giving us all these important answers we've been waiting for a long time, but couldn't have taken up those 30 minutes of the finale while also serving another purpose? Let's look at a scene from Frieren that does a lot of those things Thomas Flight pointed out well. So this scene's primarily...
God, you know what I miss about Frieren? These shots. Man, I need to watch another anime that looks like this. That just looks painted. Just looks like a painting. And then with the beautiful OST, oh man, that just pulls you right back into Frieren.
Their purpose is to set up an arc exploring the main monster of the series, or said better, the remnants of the big bad, the monster that threatened the sanctity of the world. Frieren is a story that takes place after the big hero's adventure, where her old party took down the Demon King. This scene is meant to give more information surrounding demons, and part of what makes this scene so good outside of the great exposition and the remarkable flash...
There's no way we're getting Yu-Gi-Oh! Hate in the chat now. There's no way. Guys, ban everyone. Yu-Gi-Oh's exposition is amazing. No, I'm joking.
That follows afterwards is how much depth there is to be explored in a lot of the little moments. So what I'm referring to really is predominantly one scene when Frieren is locked up in a cell, but also the moment that precurses that. The reason Frieren gets arrested is because she's in a busy, populated city when she does the magical equivalent of dropping her bag and pulling out a gun. The first thing that makes this interesting is Frieren as a character before this is incredibly carefree, one that constantly undermines threats and risk as a highly capable mage. So to have her take such sudden and drastic actions implies a lot. The next thing that's really fun is as she's being arrested, she doesn't resist at all. It's also fascinating how her two party members react. Fern, who's been traveling with her for a while, doesn't give much of a reaction at all, which is shocking for Stark as a new member of the party. It also plays on the fact that Fern has now acclimated to all the unique circumstances that come with Frieren's long life and her unique personality. It both hits a comedic beat and offers depth. Next, we jump to Frieren, now bored in the dungeon. Fern and Stark come down to visit her, and we see that expanded on. Fern shares with Frieren that she's going to be locked away for 2 to 3 years. So when Frieren says, "Oh, only 2 to 3 years? I expected it to be longer," Fern noticeably reacts, which refers to both a former conflict between Frieren and Fern in episode 2, and the overarching theme of the story, which is Frieren learning to value both hers and others' time more. Stark is obviously perplexed, which plays well for comedic timing, but the entire time we're secretly learning all these things about demons, and more specifically Frieren's relationship with them. This all sets up a flashback that sets the tone for the rest of the arc, but the scene does so much more. There is conflict in both Frieren's arrest and the reaction that prompted it. There's relationship dynamics going on between all 3 party members, and more than anything, the comedy and conversation all lends itself to more natural circumstance. So when Frieren explains herself, it feels really warranted and not forced. It's what makes Frieren so special as a show. It's capable of taking all these oversaturated, overused storytelling tools and expertly blending them in a way that feels natural. The things that make Frieren as a show so special are kind of easy to miss, but the more you pay attention, the more I think you'll be surprised at how much is actually there. That's why I keep talking about this show so much and using it as an example.
It's alright, it's not as good as Demon Slayer, it's not bad.
From philosophy and morals to storytelling structure, Frieren is a remarkable example of what a story can do. because this scene so perfectly sets up and gives you the information to really enjoy the remainder of the arc, which is the whole point of exposition. Give the audience information they need to know. But it doesn't hurt if it's layered really well. Thanks for watching. A special shout out to Thomas.
Where was the Demon Slayer stuff? Someone said he was going to glaze Demon Slayer. Okay, surely there's people defending Demon Slayer in the comments. Let's have a little look-see here. For me, Demon Slayer is a perfect example of simple writing. Wait, done well. Maybe it's not the best and has its flaw, but the author knew her strengths and weaknesses and never tried to go too far. But rather focused. You know what? I'll say this. Demon Slayer is a margarita pizza, but it's not a margarita pizza made in a kebab shop in England. It's made in Naples, and it's got the basil on it and the best oregano spices, and it's elite. It's elite. The greatest margarita pizza on earth. You can't take that away from it. Meanwhile, they're gassing up Solo Leveling, which is a margarita pizza made... They forgot the cheese. They literally forgot the cheese. No oregano. It's just the pizza with maybe a little... You know when the person barely puts any tomato sauce on it? Just leave my Demon Slayer alone. Guys, I don't know, but this guy seems to like Frieren. At this rate, bro's about to compare One Piece to Frieren. Yes, the Demon Slayer lovers. Yes. Destroy him. Dislike button. Where are you? Ah, they took it. Oh, wait, it is back. What the hell? Wait, when did it dislike? Oh, yeah, it was showing the number of dislikes. I'm joking, by the way. It's a really good video. In defense of Tanjiro, in the first scene, he's trying to talk to Nezuko, not us. It's an efficient way to establish the stakes as well as us, and Tanjiro is a loving brother. Bro, I love that scene, man. I feel like... This guy's just a hater. No, I just love Demon Slayer. I miss it. I miss it. I miss it. Good video, though. I'm very intrigued by this guy's channel, Pay Talks Anime. I'm going to definitely check out more. If you can't tell, go Google sarcasm. Some people, you know, English may not be their first language. I do be sarcastic sometimes. So, just know that before you comment. I am joking, even though it may seem like I'm not. It's a way of sarcasm. And, yeah, I love Demon Slayer. I love Frieren. Both of them are in my top 5 animes of all time. Yes, Demon Slayer is 5th. Frieren is 4th, probably. Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. It's one season, so it's hard. I don't know. I don't know. I need to do a video on my top 5 animes. Either way, thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Follow my Twitch and like and subscribe.